Deuce everyone, we got a cool little work set coming your way. We're going to turn your world upside down today for a little while. So let's have a chat about what we got going on. Our warm-up today is going to consist of some dynamic triangle for 3 to 5 a side, plank lean for 6 to 10 alternating with a 1 to 2 second pause per side. Working on just displacing that body position and allowing ourselves to work on that kind of leaning and shifting our body weight. Floor pike hold, 15 to 30 seconds, quad plank to knee to elbow. Very, very cool little work set, challenging on the core. And we'll show you that, what's going on there. 2 to 3 rounds here. We're going to move into our calf raise of 30 seconds. Dumbbell deadlift of 3 to 5 reps. Dumbbell tempo hang power clean at 3, which we're going to talk about a few different pieces here with this one. And then our ankle pop, in-out hops, or skip for 20 seconds. And there's a nice selection there, and you're going to kind of choose what you want to focus on for this phase of work. 2 to 3 rounds here, working on that phase of work. They're going to move into our work set, which is 6 rounds. It's not a long 6 rounds, but it's 6 rounds regardless. So we have 6 rounds of work, handstand hold of 60 seconds. So we're going to set ourselves up with a handstand hold variation. Very cool stuff. Dumbbell hang power clean of 10 reps, and then a double under set of 50, or a double under set that's equivalent to that 50 reps. So we hit that for 6 rounds, having some fun with that one, and it's gonna be a good day. All right, we're gonna work on a little bit upside down work, plus some good Ole skill and some good cardio work. So let's get you prepped, let's get you ready, and we'll have a great time today. All right, you guys, let's start off by getting that body warmed up. We'll get our feet under the hips, take the arms big and tall overhead. We'll stretch it to one side, we'll come back up and over and take it to the other side. We'll take those arms up, get a nice little shrug through those shoulders. We'll come back down and then forward fold with those lovely bodies. Walk up the shins. We'll come down, framing a foot, step it back into our lizard, and we're gonna take that inside hand, scooping up and out, and then we're gonna rotate forearm to the floor. Nice solid position. We'll take it up, and then we'll rotate, and then we'll take it up, and then we'll rotate one last time. Coming back up big and tall. Plant that hand. We'll step back into our down dog. We did a little bit of running yesterday, and we're rocking some skipping. So let's walk those feet out just a little bit, just to wake up the calves a bit. Nothing too aggressive yet. Just waking things up slow. Good. We're going to come back into our plank. We're going to step that other foot up. Nice and solid here. We'll take the inside hand up to the sky. We're going to rotate forearm to the floor. We'll come back up and rotate forearm to the floor. Back up and rotate forearm to the floor. And back up. We'll plant the hand, step it back. Nice down dog position, setting up those shoulders. Let's press and hold the foot. Switch it over, hold the foot. Walk it back and forth for 1, 2, and then hold the foot. Hold the foot. Walk it back over. 1, 2, and then come back into that plank. Tiptoe those feet up. Roll ourselves up. Big tall stretch. Big reach. And reach. Come down with those hands. Let's get you guys fired up. All right, if you need to, pause the video. We are doing some handstand stuff today, so if you want to work a little bit more wrist work, kind of fire up those wrists and hands a bit, please do so. Cat-cow, thread the needle, scap push, wrist mobility, anything you need to do to get yourself prepped. We're going to move into our first phase, which is going to take care of that kind of core position and get some heat in the shoulders. So prep yourself, get yourself ready. Come join me. We're going to continue this fun day. All right, our day is going to kickstart off with our dynamic triangle, just to work on opening up our shoulders and our hips a bit. So we're going to get ourselves into our sumo stance. So we're going to turn a toe, and we'll turn the other toe. So our hips are at a kind of diagonal. Our hand is over to our thigh. Our arm is going to reach way up to the ceiling. And you can, again, load this, if you'd like, very lightly to make sure we're activating through that shoulder. We're going to pull the hip back as we take the body down the shin, and then we're going to take it all the way back up. Really working on this shoulder position here, maintaining that nice strong shoulder position the entire time. as we come back up. The big thing we want to think about is the initiation through the hip, and as my body tips, we're always pushing up to the ceiling to maintain that good overhead position. Changing sides, what we need to think about is making sure that our feet stay in a proper width so that we don't jam ourselves up too much, and we stay nice and strong here with the hips, giving us the room to get that hip displacement in that hinge. Once we finish our dynamic triangle, we're going to move into our plank lean, something we've done quite a bit, but again, it's one of those movements that we can always learn something about and experiment with. So I'm going to face the camera for this so you can see my shift. What we want to think about is nice wide fingers so we have some good surface area and a good grip on the floor. We're going to step our feet back into our plank. We're going to pull our ribs in and push our shoulders up to the ceiling. From here, we're going to shift our weight to the left, and I'm going to keep that weight pressing through that left arm. Then I'm going to come back, maintaining that pressure up as I shift to the right. And my left hand is going to slowly start to lose that weight as I shift to the right, but as I'm taking weight out of this, I'm adding more engagement to that balancing arm to keep that shoulder strong and stable. And we're just learning how to displace our load and our weight throughout our body, working back and forth through those arms. After that, we're going to move into a floor pike hold. So we're going to start venturing into our handstand position. So in between these movements, if you'd like to throw in a couple scap push-ups, cat-cows, be my guest. This just adds to it, gets the body warmed up, and gives your body a little extra love that it might need in the shoulders and the arms. So our floor pike hold, I'm going to turn to the side. My hands stay in the same position as they would in that plank lean. My knees are going to come together though. My toes are going to come together in the back. I'm going to pull the ribs in, set my shoulders and press them to the sky. And I'm going to press my hips up nice and high. I'm going to bring my hips nice and high as I press through the shoulders the entire time, trying to keep my weight stacked over top of my hands the whole hold. So I'm pressing through those arms the entire time, pushing the floor away, pulling those ribs in to maintain that good hollow, and keeping those hips as stacked as we can over top of the shoulders and the hands. There will be a little bit of lean back, but we want to try and load the shoulders as much as we can. From there, we're going to move into a quad plank knee to elbow, which is a little different kind of movement. I'm going to show you from the side and the front. So from here, we come back into our hands just outside the shoulders, wide fingers. My knees come into my tabletop position, so space between them. I pull the ribs in, push the shoulders up. I'm going to find my quad plank first. Now with this, I'm going to take my opposite hand to my opposite knee and bring those knee and elbows together. Just bring them together. And I'm always finding that quad plank in between. So I'm trying to keep my shoulders level with my hips, and I'm really focusing on staying balanced as I bring those knees and elbows together. So as I go to lift my hand and knee together, I am pushing hard through that balancing arm that we were kind of experimenting with in the plank lean. So we're not shifting our weight over, but we are pushing through the ground. Now if you can't touch your knee to elbow, that's okay. What we want to focus on is just that kind of displacement, that balance we get from right to left to right, and we want to really focus on trying to stay square and engaged in that quad plank. It's just a new way to kind of experiment with that quad plank to kind of work on that core stability. Quick little recap for you guys. We have a dynamic triangle, 3 to 5 a side, plank lean, 6 to 10 alternating with that little pause per side. Floor pike hold, 15 to 30 seconds. Quad plank, knee to elbow, 6 to 10 alternating reps. Taking your time there, don't rush those, but focus on that good pressure into the floor. 2 to 3 rounds of that, taking it down, getting your body ready to go. Then we're going to move into a little bit more dynamic work with some jumping and some lower body work. So pause the video, take that down, get yourself ready to go, feel it out. We're going to move into that next phase right away. All right, so our next phase is going to kind of focus primarily a little bit more on the lower body, allowing us to work on some skills and get those legs ready for what's to come. We're going to kickstart it off with some calf raises. Now the calf raise can be loaded. So So if you'd like to load this, you can load this in a suitcase, you can load it in a front rack, you can load it to the front. All right, usually I like to stick with the suitcase or the front, so it allows me to focus on my balance and my toes staying balanced between the big toe and the pinky. I squeeze my glutes, pull my ribs, I stay nice and tall, and my focus is to push through those feet and then lower down. So I'm trying to stay balanced with the big toe and the pinky toe as best as I can as I push through those feet and lower down. Nice and smooth all the way through. So working through this nice flow, we're not trying to rush, we're not trying to leave the ground. If you'd like to give yourself a little pause at the top of each one, you can as well. We're really just trying to charge up the feet, the ankles, and the calves to really get those things ready to go for the impact that they're going to take in this workout and in the future with running and skipping and jumping. So it's a great exercise. It's kind of one of those exercises that gets left in the distance because it really doesn't seem like a lot, but it does help those feet out a lot. So let's give ourselves that time to focus on those calves and those ankles. After that, we're going to move into some dumbbell deadlifts. So this can be taken from the sumo or it can be taken from the conventional. My suggestion for the first one would be sumo, so you can get down to the dumbbells a little bit easier in better position. But if you'd like to switch it to the outside, you're more than welcome to. So with the sumo deadlift off the start, I'm going to stand right over top of the dumbbell, so it cuts my foot in half. I'm going to keep my chest up a little higher than normal as I take it down to the floor, because I have to get a little deeper into that position. My back position is in that good deadlift position as I stand it up, and then I'm going to take it anywhere below the knee. So working on my range of motion, but primarily focusing on that back position as I want to get and maintain that throughout the entire range of motion. Once I'm done 3 to 5, I'll flip to the other side, or I'll have 2 dumbbells and I'll do 3 to 5 reps, as is with 2 dumbbells. Now the dumbbell tempo hang power clean. Now this is a little slower motion, but again, you can take this from the side, you can take this from between the feet. I'm going to demonstrate from the side so you can see the tempo a little bit better. The tempo is going to be 3, 2, 1 to the knees, and then we'll clean. And then we're going to pause in the receiving position for 3 seconds as well. So it'll look like so. 3, 2, 1, clean. Hold. 3, 2, 1, stand. Fix your feet, come back down. Again, we take our time. 3, 2, 1 to the knee. We clean it, driving through the legs. We hold that strong receiving position and stand. What we want to get out of this is a really good understanding and strength built in that hinge as we take it to the position, so that now we can drive through the legs in that vertical position, and then as we land in our receiving position, building that strength and getting comfortable in that receiving position so we can experience good balance and a good solid landing position so that we're not landing in our toes, heels, or off balance. So take your time, experiment with those where you're looking at 3 reps per side or 3 with 2 dumbbells just to kind of get a feel for that. So take your time on the setup, good strong drive through the legs, and then a nice solid position in our receiving position. After we're done with that, we're going to move into some more dynamic ankle work, which is going to involve the ankle pop, in-out hops, or some skipping, depending on what you have access to. You can mix and match these throughout the rounds as well, but I'm going to go through the first 2, the ankle pop and the in-out hop. So the ankle pop, we bring our feet underneath of our hips, and we're going to set ourselves up like we're using a skipping rope. So we're skipping without the skipping rope. So with this, my hands are slightly forward, my elbows are in tight to the body, my ribs are tight, my glutes are tight. My shoulders are relaxed, and I'm going to work on that hop. So I'm working on allowing my ankles, my knees, to be relaxed, and I'm trying to allow them to naturally use that rebound, okay? So sometimes, if you feel as though when you're doing this, your knees are kind of collapsing inwards, what I've had some people do is take a yoga block, all right, at its thinnest point, tucking it in between your thighs, and holding that between there as you skip. Because what that's going to do is it's going to build a little bit of strength in that adductor and that bringing those positions in and keeping that lower body nice and solid so so that our knees aren't collapsing inwards, which will allow us to rebound a little bit more smooth and efficiently. Now our in-out hops is kind of a fun one too. We start off in our squat stance, and we're going to work on bringing our feet together and apart. And you can work on this at a nice smooth pace. You can try and go super fast. You can try and push that pace, your footwork, whatever you need to do. But we're just going to use that again too to work on some timing, some intensity. It's going to get the heart rate up really quick. But again, we're using that as a chance to kind of relax the ankles and keep that nice rebound as we go. We're not trying to hold a lot of tension in our feet or our legs. We're just trying to maintain a good, strong midsection so that the legs can do what they need to do. Now the skip, you can skip away for 20 seconds, practice your double unders if you'd like, do whatever you need to do, but we're using this to warm up our rebound, warm up our legs to get ready for the workout to come. As a quick recap, we have calf raise for 30 seconds, loaded or unloaded, dumbbell deadlift for 3 to 5 aside or with 2 dumbbells, dumbbell tempo hang power clean, 3 reps, 3 seconds to the knee, 3 seconds in the receiving position, and then either ankle pop, in-out hop, skip for 20 seconds, or all 3. You can mix and match throughout the rounds. Do what you need to do, make it yours, and have some fun. Pause the video, take that down, get yourself ready. We're going to move into the movements in our work set to get you prepped and ready for action. All right, we have 3 movements in our workout today, 2 of which we've covered in our work set, or in our warm-up set, I should say, the hang power clean and the double under. The main one we need to cover right now is the handstand hold, and there's a few different variations we can play with this for today. If you have a kick up to handstand, you can do that. A wall-facing handstand, so you can walk into it or cartwheel into it. A wall angle hold, so you're facing the wall, but we're on kind of more of a 45 degree, working on that hollow. And we have our box variations. So if you don't have wall space, but you'd like to be in a more elevated position, we can use a box, chair, ottoman, couch, something we can put our knees up on or our feet up on that's going to be stable and strong. So we have a couple different variations here. We have our box handstand from our knees first. So I get myself set up like I was going to do my floor pike hold. I get myself onto the box or on the floor, heels squeezing towards my glutes, wide fingers, I push through those arms, armpits are pointing towards the box, and I'm pulling my ribs in. Even though I'm knee bent, I'm pulling my ribs in and maintaining that position. So I'm actively pushing into the box the entire time. Now, if you have looser hamstrings and we can allow ourselves to be stacked with straight legs, we can go to the box pike hold. So we put our feet up on the box, we get ourselves set up, straight legs, we walk in, hips are high, pushing through the floor, eyes to the box again, and working on that nice strong overhead position. Now, if your hamstrings are a little tight and it doesn't allow you to keep your legs straight, do that bent knee variation with the knees on the box, because it's going to allow us to be more stacked in our handstand. So that is the goal. Hip, shoulder, hands stacked over one another. So give yourself a position that's going to allow you to be in that better stacked position. Now if you still want to work on an elevated surface, but you're like, I can't quite go upside down yet in that elevated surface, but I want a little more load on my shoulders. You can work on an elevated plank. So my feet go on the box, my hands under my shoulders, I pull my ribs in, press my shoulders up, and my eyes are looking just in front of my fingertips. Trying to keep that body nice and long in that hollow, but I'm going to load my hands and arms just a little bit more. Now, if we don't have an elevated surface that we feel comfortable putting our feet or knees on, we can come to the floor as well. And we can do our floor pike hold. So as a quick review on that, we get our knees together, hands under the shoulders, toes together. I set my shoulders and my ribs up first, lift my hips high, and I push through those arms the entire time. So I get the benefits and the engagement that I need in a handstand, but on the floor in a slightly more controllable position. Now our last 2 variations, we can come right to a horizontal position, one of which being our plank. So we can work our full plank, hands under the shoulders, throw one more at you for our handstand. It's going to involve the wall or a box. And I have the box here, so I'm going to use the box handy just because the wall's way back there and you won't be able to see. I'm going to work on a body tightener. So this is a great handstand drill with the toes together. My arms are straight into the box. The box now becomes, or the wall now becomes, the floor. I push into the wall. My eyes are down. I get that good active shoulder position. Armpits are towards the floor. I pull my ribs in, and I'm pushing into the box and pulling my ribs away from the floor, just like I would be in if I was doing a prone shoulder raise. That same position in the ribs, except I'm pushing into the wall. So this is a really nice option as well if you want to work on positions in our handstand, but don't necessarily want to load the shoulders in that position in either a plank or in a horizontal position or a vertical position. So you can use that. It's tough, all right? It's the hardest laying down you'll ever do. But what we want to remember is that we're banking 60 seconds of active time. So we want to make sure we're pressing, pulling those ribs in, and maintaining that tension the entire time we're in that body tightening position. Once we finish our handstand hold, we're going to move into our hang power clean. And we covered quite a bit about our points of performance here in our tempo variation with a pause receive. I'm just going to show you a couple variations you can play with your dumbbell as you take it down. So again, you can take it from between or from the side. If you're using two, you'll take it from the side into that clean. But what we're looking for is a nice hinge, a good clean. You can either keep it on one side for 5 reps, or you can work on alternating for 10 reps. Working on that alternating clean, back and forth. It's going to save your arms a little bit, save your grip strength opposed to going 5 and 5, and it adds a little extra challenge in there with a good clean transition. So you can experiment with either one of those two with a single dumbbell. If you're using a double, well, obviously you'll just take it to the outside and clean it really well into that receiving position. Remembering we want to make sure that we're cleaning the dumbbell, using our legs to do the work, and pulling into that receive position to work on and build that skill of pulling under load. Our last exercise is our double under. And we're going to have a lot of different variations for you guys to play with this. But I just want to show you one more here, which we've done in the past, which is our dumbbell lateral jump over, skip over, or step over. And you can work on one of those three. I'll have that in the workout description for you guys in terms of choosing load or choosing reps. But I'll also have a bunch of other ones for you guys as well. Ankle pops, in-out hops, some other things along those lines. So check that out, see how it feels. Pick your adventure for whatever you want to use. If you're like, I'm skipping today, rock it, have fun with it, and enjoy. So again, as a quick recap, we have 6 rounds. 60-second handstand hold or variation, accumulating that time. Dumbbell hang power clean for 10 reps or 10 alternating reps. 50 double unders or an equivalent to that exercise that you'll see on the workout description. Have fun with this workout, you guys. There's a lot of skill involved here, a lot of cool things you can kind of focus your attention to. Pick what you want to focus on, make it the best you got today, and have a ton of fun. As always, work for quality, and we'll see you tomorrow with some more fun. Bye, you guys.